Hey, you're working hard. You're providing. You're trying to be a good man, trying to take care of your family. But deep down, something feels off. You wonder, is this all there is? Is this it? Is this how I'm supposed to feel? If that's you, brother, this video is for you. Listen up. See, we're taught in this society, and maybe not so much now. Um, that's a whole other topic I can get into now, but my generation and not long after that, and I could venture to say probably for many centuries back, the whole idea of men sucking it up and not showing pain, not showing weakness has been prevalent. And so we run with this identity of man that is skewed, that we have to be tough on the outside and show no fear. But the truth is, most men are suffering inside because of this. I know I was. I was going through circumstances that I just accepted it as life. Like that would just never, things wouldn't get better. That I would just have to deal with the way things were for the rest of my life. And I even thought that maybe it was just a representation of my past catching up with me, of who I was, because I battled the addiction for 18 years. I was incarcerated for a decade. Like I had these odds stacked up against me, and I allowed it to become my identity. Like that was the form I took on, was I was a nobody. Like I had a lot of failed attempts at being done because of it. And that brings me to this, and it's alarming, but 79% of the suicides in the US are men. But it's like only 42% of them ever sought any type of mental health or any type of help, period. And that's scary. See, and then what's even more staggering is 1 in 5 men right now are silently battling mental illness. And let me put that into perspective. Go stand in a room with 4 friends. I'm sure you have 4 friends you can think of. You all 5 are standing in a room. One of you is battling mental illness. And I know there's stigma on the word mental illness because they use the word illness like it's a plague, a virus, and it's not that. What it is it's just the ability to not process life in a positive frame of mind, thus allowing the negativities and things to enrapture our ability to cope and to act and to think. And I think you probably have been through this. And I venture to say, since you're watching this video, you can almost guarantee that you have. But that's just it. We all do. See, I think it was quite generous saying 1 in 5. I think it's more than that. I think it's 3 or 4 out of 5. Because we all deal with something silently. We all have something within us that is hindering us. It's keeping us stuck where we're at. It's not allowing us to move forward. And here's the twist. Most men don't even know that they're drowning until it's too late. It surprisingly took me 40 years to finally figure it out. It's a long time. I mean, it's a little generous because probably the first 10 years was, being a kid, so it didn't really count. But needless to say, it wasn't until I was about 40, 41 when it finally started to click that I had to deal with some issues that were going on, or else I would stay where I was forever. And it got to the point that was so scary that I feared that. And I'm glad I got to that point. But my whole basis in helping others is so you don't have to get to that point, to recognize this early and do something about it. See, I can step in and I can help coach you and get you reframing your identity, reframing your beliefs, and then get you going on a better path. Like I want to do that because I know if I can, so many others can as well. And these percentages, I'd love to see these percentages drop because it's nonsense that we have to fight this battle alone, because we don't. We're not meant to fight it alone. We're meant to have community. We're meant to have brotherhood. We're meant to have avenues of release. And that's why you think that when you think about successful people, if you really dive into their life and look at it, they still have their problems. But the ones that are really highly successful and have dealt with a lot of the issues they have going on, you can watch their life of how they've transformed it, incorporated these things that are beneficial in keeping their mind going in the right direction. I don't know if I'm making sense on this. I might have got a little off kilter, but they're not drowning anymore because they found the avenues, the outlets to release what it is they're going through, to find that help, to gain the knowledge and understanding of how to change it, and then go through that process. And a lot of people don't know how. Truthfully, a lot of these successful people that have learned how to do this did it through a coach or a mentor or had somebody that helped them through the process. Because, like I said, it's not meant to go alone. It's not something we're supposed to tackle by ourselves. Because if we do that, we're going to lose because, duh, the issue we've already had is with ourselves, right? So here's a twist, though. Most men don't even know that they're drowning until it's almost over. I already said that. But also get caught up in the culture of manning up, the culture of let's mask this with performance and productivity and pretending that there's nothing there. So and so over here. And this is a big issue we have with the social media. And I want you to hear me on this. I want you to hear me good. That person you're watching behind the screen, like you're watching me behind the screen. My life's not perfect. Neither is theirs. So don't let that ever fool you. Even the highly successful people, yes, they've learned how to deal with things, but they still have issues. We all have issues that we have to deal with. But that's the key factor is we have to deal with them. We have to get through that. And that's owning it first and then dealing with it. For instance, I want to come up with a guy. And we'll kind of run him through this process. So let's say John. He's 42. He's married. He's got kids. He's got a career. Not necessarily his dream career, but he's got a career. And on the outside, everything looks good. A little house in the suburbs. We've seen those people. Their life looks decent. But behind the scenes, there's constant fighting with the wife. There's feelings of inadequacy. There's wondering, where did I go wrong? Did I make a wrong choice somewhere that led me to this place? Like, okay, yeah, I got a good life, but I'm not secure in who I am. I feel like I'm failing my family. I feel like I'm not a good friend. See, these are real things that John's going through. The battles that are going on in his mind that nobody knows about because he doesn't want to talk about it. And it affects your relationships around him. It affects his career, and his mental health is declining because of this. Because it's just a constant battle in here. And it even gets worse at some points, like the anxiety in the chest. John doesn't go out anymore. He avoids social gatherings. He isolates. And he chooses numbness despite how his life looks by himself, alone. See, according to the CDC in 2023, the mental health report they put out, 10.1% of US men report symptoms of depression on a weekly basis. And that's a low number because I venture to say it's a lot higher than that, but a lot of men don't come forward about it. But even knowing 10.1% on a weekly basis, that's 40% a month. You can do the math, add it up. Like there's a lot going on at just 10%. I mean, look at the population. That's a lot of people. And that's not even the ones that came forward to talk about it. And men aged 20 to 39 have some of the highest depression spikes. I think it was up to 14.3%. So what that means is 2 out of 3 men are suffering and pretending they're fine, acting like they got it all together. But the good news is John can change. John did change. And what it was that broke him, it wasn't the stress, it was the silence. His wake up call, unfortunately, like some others, it was a panic attack in the middle of Costco. And he thought he was dying. Like legit. Thought he was that was it. Oh my gosh. I'm going out just like this. I knew it. I knew I wouldn't amount to anything. I knew this life would suck all the way to the end. Those were the thoughts. Those were the real thoughts going through his head. Have you ever felt like you had one moment away from cracking too? That quiet voice inside whispering, something's not right. Listen to it. See, that's your soul calling for something real. That's a little knock on the door saying, let me out of here. Uh, this can't be it. This can't be all there is. And see, John's turning point was he opened up. He made it through. He wouldn't have a heart attack. He found out it was anxiety, panic attack. And so, like I said earlier, like with me, it hit rock bottom. It sucks, but sometimes we hit that bottom. Maybe you have. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, I don't want you to. But if you have, then you know what I'm talking about. You get to that breaking point that you know something has to be different, but you're just not. But the thing is, you're just not sure how. See, John plugged into an accountability group. John found himself somebody similar that's been through it. He found a coach, a mentor, somebody outside of himself because he knew he couldn't trust himself to make these decisions. He needed somebody else to guide him along the path of figuring it out, implementing, and getting past it. See, John learned that healing isn't about fixing everything either. It's about facing what's real, facing what's there, saying, "Man, I feel off. Like I'm not happy with where I'm at. I don't like this situation." But not just recognizing it. See, if you've heard me talk about the 3 R's, recognize, rewrite, and respond. So we have to be able to recognize those issues. We have to be able to recognize, like, hey, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not in a position that I thought I was going to be in at this age, or whatever it is. We have to recognize those. We have to shed light on it. We have to call it out. Like, I don't feel like I'm a man. I don't feel like I'm providing for my family. I don't, and it's not about beating yourself up over these things, but it's about coming to terms with that's what's going on. That's the feelings you're having. I know we'll sit there in our brain for a while and we'll think about those things and we'll mull them over, but just sitting in the brain and mulling them over isn't going to do anything about it. Getting it out, talking about it, recognizing it, and then speaking it. And that's why we have somebody we could walk the path with, because we need to unload this to somebody else to say, these are the issues I'm having. This is where I'm at in life. I need some direction. I need some guidance. Right. So once we recognize, and then now what we can do is we can start to rewrite. Like, okay, I believe that I'm unsuccessful. Well, how am I going to rewrite? How am I going to do something to implement something different? I'm going to come to the terms. I'm going to come to terms with the fact that I actually can change this. I can turn this around, right? And that's the point where we get to where we're like, okay, I recognize it. I'm rewriting it because this is what I need to do. This is what I need to implement, and then we respond or not respond. Um, yeah, respond. We recognize, we write, and then now we respond. We put things into practice. We put in the effort to do something different. We find the coach. We find the mentor. We go to an accountability group. We find like-minded individuals that are willing to open up about their issues as well. And then that's where the true change can start to happen. That's where we can get outside of ourselves. And kind of in a sense, like stepping back and looking in from an outside perspective. Because I think part of the whole realm of this is we have to be able to detach from the emotions. And I know that sounds contradictory. It falls back into line like shut off your emotions. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying shut off your emotions. I'm saying being able to step back from the emotions. And this is what you call emotional intelligence. Step back from the emotions, take them out of the equation for a second so we can look at the things tangibly and with clarity. See, these are all things that are important: clarity, emotional intelligence, things that we can work towards. Um, and that's what a coach helps you with. That's somebody helps guide you through these steps. But you're able to separate and look at the situation for what it is and be like, okay, logically, this is where I'm at. This has not worked. What can I respond with? What can I put in place and continue to work on and daily and implement as a new habit to get me out of this frame, to reframe myself into a new identity with new beliefs. Is it making sense? I hope that's making sense. I think once we stop and look at it in that aspect, it makes a lot of sense. Just the issue is a lot of times we don't know how to step into that at the very beginning. We need some kind of a guidance, some kind of a encouragement, right? So one thing I really want to drive home about this is it's not a quick fix either. And I know that you may have been wrapped up in this pain for a long time. You may have been going through this motion for years, maybe decades. And so the natural instinct that we have is we want to fix it and we want to fix it quick. We don't want that discomfort anymore, especially when we catch a glimpse of how it can be better. But we really have to stop it and we have to dig into the process. It's a process. Like for me, it took me 40 years of messing up to get to a point where I knew it needed to change. How can I unchange 40 years in just one day? It's not possible. You can't do it. I'm losing the word, but you have to be patient with it. You have to accept that there's a process involved. But going back to having somebody to do it with you, helps tremendously because you have encouragement, you have accountability, and you have somebody that kind of helps you stay on the right track. See, studies show that men who engage in mentorship, therapy, peer support, coaching are 3 times more likely to recover from depression and anxiety. And that's in the long term. But when I say these things, I know one of them I said therapy. And I do believe some people can get to a point to where they need that special medical help. Because there are some breaking points that some reach that are very hard to come back from. I had to get therapy myself for a while. But I can safely say through experience and through helping a lot of other men that we can actually fix these issues without going that far into it. I'm not discounting the medical field at all. Like it has its purposes. Um, but also to I'll be bold to say my beliefs, and my beliefs are I think there's some skewed things within that system that they kind of just push things to keep their pockets full. I mean, that's my belief. But I truly believe there's avenues that we can implement to not get to that point, to be able to surround ourselves with certain individuals that can see from an outside perspective where we're at and kind of help guide and show the steps and show the ways, you know. And the whole thing about this is it's just it's a framework of constant choices. We've chosen to put up, accept, ignore the issues. So all we're really doing now is we're taking that effort and relocating it, or even adding effort, because some of that doesn't take effort. I know, I understand that. But we're allocating this effort into a positive, a reframe, a difference. Healing happens in the connection, though, not the isolation. There is hope on the other side of it. There is change. I'm a testament to that. Like, I always sit here and think if I can change, anybody can. Like, I wasn't a good person at all. Like, I was bad. Like, I won't get into all of it right now, but eventually you hear some of my story because I'll be pretty transparent about it. Because I want you to trust me and know that I'm coming from genuine, from I was gonna say genuineness, but that's not. I don't think that's a word. I'm coming from a genuine heart, somebody that's been through the fire. But I was bad. I did some things. Yeah, some bad things. One glimpse into it, and I'll just real quick. I'm not gonna camp on it and talk about it right now, but I was charged with attempted manslaughter at one point. That bad. But, but the beautiful thing is, I'm not there anymore. I can't even fathom being back in that spot. And I know you're probably not dealing with something that extreme, or maybe you are, but you got something going on that you just don't feel like you can get past. Some issue you've been dealing with for a long time that you just think is normal, but it bothers you. You don't like it, but you deal with it when you don't have to. If this is hitting you in the chest, don't just scroll away from this video and forget about it. Seriously, take it to heart, because that ache you feel, it's a signal within you that you want to do something different. You want some change. And I want you to know you're not broken at all. You're not broken. Just kind of lost your way. But you're not alone anymore. Because now you know there's a way, there's hope. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to hit that follow. I want you to engage. I want you to share this with somebody else that needs it too, because we all know that a lot of men struggle. But if you're ready to take back your mind and your mission and your momentum, because I'm pretty sure you probably lost that along the way, I'll walk it with you. I have systems in place that will help. I have a program I can take you through that will unlock where it is you're at and get you into where you need to be. And like I said before, it takes some work, but if you're willing to put in that work, it works. 100%. I'm proof. And I have other men that I've helped. They're proof. So, but dude, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. Keep coming back. I'm going to keep talking about more stuff. I'm going to talk about tangible ways that we can do this. But if you really want to dig deep and you really want to do something different, send me a message. Get in contact. In my link, I have my website. You can go there. You can contact me there. I got my email there. Don't fight alone anymore. Don't do it, brother. You're meant for a whole lot more. Let's get you back to that. All right. If this video also helped you, please go check out my other videos. There should be one right here or right here. It's one of the two. I lose my spot. I think it's right here. Um, check that one out. Get some more nuggets. I talk about the 3 steps of to get back your potential. So it's an important one to pay attention to. All right, brother. Stay strong. I believe in you.